brand new president of the Washington football team, Jason Wright, who's the first ever black team president in NFL history. And Jason, I want to start out by saying congratulations and thank you for joining us this morning. Not only are you the youngest team president currently in the league, as I said before, you are the first ever black team president. So what does this moment, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for the team? And what does it mean for the NFL?
Hey, thanks, Michael. It's good to be on with you, my friend. I think first and foremost, it's obviously very personal for me, right? Much like you, I'm a football player first. Been playing since I was 7 years old, went to Northwestern on a football scholarship, played 7 years in the league. You know, probably got fired a few more times than you, my friend, but played a decent amount of time in the league. And then became a businessman and cut my teeth in some of the best business schools. I've been helping some of the most complex and important organizations around the world transform over the last few years. So for me, it's personal, an opportunity to bring together my two worlds in a really unique way at a really unique time. And the fact that I happen to be black and the most qualified person for this is a boost.
And I love that. The most qualified person is the first thing that I think of when I think about you, Jason. But it's not an easy job. It is so far from being an easy job because you're joining a franchise that is in a lot of turmoil right now. In the last month, the announcement of the name change. There have been some allegations of sexual harassment by over a dozen female employees and an investigation into whether the team failed to consider minority of female candidates in hiring its vice president. So what are your plans as the new president for changing this organization from the inside?
You know, part of what excited me about taking this role is we had a phrase when we played that said, you don't talk about it, you be about it. Mm-hmm. And I think what I've seen from Dan and Tanya Snyder, in the hiring of Coach Rivera and some of the decisions they've made to have an independent investigator brought in around the sexual harassment allegations, there are actual shifts in action that suggest it's a new day. And that's why I'm excited to take this on. And Coach Rivera's talked a lot about this on the football side, establishing a new culture, a new way of operating rooted in values around inclusion and transparency. That's exactly what we're going to do on the business side. And it's a culture transformation first, to make sure that we have an organization that people want to be a part of, and that itself will start to expand the value of the franchise and make the good things happen.
And another change that is coming to the football team is the name. So if you want to make even more news this morning by telling us what the new name will be, if not, when can we expect to learn what the new name will be?
Now I know what y'all are thinking. You hired a brother, and all of a sudden the betting money's on Red Tails. It's not, right? It's not. In truth, what we're actually doing is much more than a new name. It's actually a new identity, a new way of engaging with the world. It's going to inform the way we embed in the community, the way we engage with fans. And so it's much bigger than just a name or a logo or whatever you're going to put on the jersey. And plus, the jerseys are pretty clean right now anyway, so there's not much to change. But it's going to be a longer process, and it's going to engage the fans intensely. It's going to engage the sponsors intensely. And by the end of this is going to be a community decision that we make as a Washington football community. And I'm really excited to dive in. I still got a week before I start, but I'm eager.
Well, that's good. A community decision on the name. We're going to turn to the season that's coming up. A lot of people are excited about the season, but it's going to be unlike any other. Full contact training camp. Training is expected to start today. And we know that football, it's physical, and the distancing is impossible. So are you confident in the plans that the NFL has for that?
You know, I'd have to have perfect foresight to say we know it's going to go perfectly well. I am confident in the plans that have been laid by the team, confident in the plans that have come down from the league. It's clear we're going to execute with excellence, but it would be the utmost hubris to say we know it's all going to go perfectly. And so what I think we have to do, we have to be data-driven. We have to look at how the data is changing day by day, and we're going to have to be agile. We're going to have to be quick on our feet to shift in how we operate to make sure that our players, our staff, and everybody around this operation is safe. Health and safety is absolutely first. So I like where we're at, but we're going to monitor it day by day.
I know a lot of fans are hoping that it really works out because a lot of people really miss football. And we just want to say, Alex Smith is a great story coming out of Washington this season, seeing him getting cleared to come back. So hopefully he gets back on the field for you guys. I want to congratulate you again, Jason, on your accomplishment. And we wish you a lot of luck this season.
Thank you. We'll need it. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
Welcome all my fellow Washington brethren and sisters. I am your man and Washington football fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Washington Football Report. So this is a historical moment and a historical hire by a team that just seems to be a little bit out of place in making this hire, but I'm excited that we're the franchise to pull the trigger here, even though I'm not necessarily sure about the reasons behind the hire. It seems a little fishy to me, and I'm going to be pretty much optimistic and excited here because I'm excited for Jason Wright, and we're going to talk about him in a second. And you got to hear him speak this morning on Good Morning America, and he pretty much sold me. I didn't know who he was. Ex-NFL football player, decided to walk away from the game, was actually extended a contract by the Arizona Cardinals. They tried to get him to stay because they valued him as a member of their football team. He was a team captain, special teams leader, and also a member of the NFLPA. They wanted him to stay. They even offered him more money to come back. His wife and him sat down and decided that it was time for him to move on to bigger and better things, became a prominent businessman, and now it's come full circle as he gets the job as the Washington football team's next team president. And it's a phenomenal hire, but it reeks of, hey, we didn't, and this is what they've done. And I refuse to believe that this organization is all of a sudden woke, okay? And that's why there's a little bit of that skepticism in the back of my brain. But again, I can't allow that to dampen this excitement that I have for the move, what it means, and the guy that's actually getting the opportunity in Jason Wright. And me being a brother myself and seeing another brother make history, I'm rooting like hell for him to not only be successful, not just because he's doing this for my favorite franchise, but because he's a brother and he's going to pave the way for other brothers to get opportunities like this in the league and in sports. So I'm excited for Jason Wright, but make no mistake about it. It's not a coincidence that you get the Washington Post article and then Julie Donaldson gets hired, as a high-ranking official in the organization. You have an issue with that because did you do your due diligence? Did you go through the Rooney Rule and actually hire minority candidates? And now all of a sudden, Daniel Snyder's being investigated there. And then you have the story where the other minority owners want him out. And now all of a sudden you hire an African-American to fill your team president vacancy. Again, I love it. I love the fact that he's here. Ron Rivera I think he had a lot to do with it as well. And you heard Jason Wright say that he was the right, and this is the thing that I love. He said he was the right man for the job, and he was the most qualified man for the job. So he doesn't see himself as a token hire. He sees himself as the right man at the right time and with the right credentials for the job. And I love that. Love his attitude. You heard him speak very eloquently about what this organization needs to do moving forward and how they're going to approach everything. Even had a little joke in there about how, hey, they hired a brother, so you're expecting Red Tails to be the next name of the team. I thought that was really funny. So he's got a sense of humor. Love what this guy represents, what he's going to bring, and him having an ex-NFLer background also helps, I think, in what he feels like he needs to do coming into this position. So love this hire. I think that this organization is going in the right direction, man. You say what you want, and there may be some ulterior motives and some reasonings behind some of the things they've done of recent note. But whatever it is, for whatever reason it's being done, they're the right things. And I feel like everything's going in the right direction. Again, all of this is moot if we don't get it done on the football field eventually. But as of right now, as a wise or as a man once told me, I don't know if I want to call him wise because I don't always believe that to be the case. He's not a dummy, but I don't believe him to be wise. Once said, right now we're winning off the field. And I can tell you what, we're taking all of the right necessary steps to change the culture, which is what Ron Rivera has talked about this entire offseason. And you're hearing the players echo that. We're seeing this organization for the first time. And I talked about, Bateman coming on and how Terry Bateman has come on. And ever since he's come on board, I felt like a lot of good, positive things. And he's been on board. I shouldn't say since he's come on board. Since he's gotten a more prominent role and a more clear and identified role within the organization, I think things have been going in a really good direction. I think Daniel Snyder, for the first time, has smart people around him, including Bateman and now Ron Rivera, helping him make informed, smart decisions. When you've got people that aren't as smart and in the know around you, who don't have the big picture in mind but are very nearsighted and selfish around you, you make poor decisions. I think he's got the right people around him helping him make smarter decisions. We'll see again if it translates on the field, which is really the most important part of this entire equation. But you want to do it the right way. People are more willing to tolerate a loser if they're doing it the right way, right? And I know you don't want to hear that. Neither do I, right? But we've heard the term lovable losers. We're more accepting of you, even if you stink and you make a mistake here or there, if we can stomach some of the things you've done. But when you're just a horrible organization run by people that are incompetent, we have less patience for your F-ups. So I think we're doing everything right. Now we need that to start turning into results. And so this is another great move. A proud day for me. I'm happy for Jason Wright, and I really want this to work for a number of different reasons, not just because it's my favorite football team. And I think they got the right guy. When you listen to him talk, man, he gets me excited. I'm happy for this opportunity for him. And now let's see what he's able to do with it. And the beauty of this hire is, not for 1 second do I think he's going to end up being a barrier between, Ron Rivera and, Dan Snyder. Had this been a different hire and someone that we didn't know, or someone that seemed to be a little bit sketchy, has been around the league a bunch of times, been fired, and has a little bit of a sketchy background, you could have said to yourself, this could turn out to be another Bruce Allen type of situation, because in every situation, in every step of the way during Daniel Snyder's tenure as Washington football team owner, he's had some kind of conduit. He's had someone that's been in the way, a middleman that has either been a buffoon, as in the case of Vinny Serrato, or someone that has been a egotistical maniac that wants to have all the credit given to him in Bruce Allen. Either way, there's been somebody in between the coach and the owner that's really stopped the coach from doing the things that he felt like he needed to do to help this organization win. Now we don't have that, and I don't think we're going to have that with Jason Wright. I think he's going to handle a lot of the business and financial side of things, whereas Ron and Kyle Smith are going to be allowed to handle the football things. This is actually going to look like a real NFL outfit, and I think it's only a matter of time before this football team allows Kyle Smith to wear the GM moniker and title. I think that's coming sooner rather than later, and I think you're going to see an organization be run, and maybe they just keep him with the title that he has. We'll see what happens, but at the end of the day, this thing is moving in the right direction, and this hire is another step in the right direction for an organization looking to change its image. This is a really good move by the Washington football team, and so we'll talk more about this later on in the week. If anything else comes about, you'll see this face all up in your space. But until then, I am a Washington football fan, etched in burgundy and gold. My Washington spirit will never die. Washington spirit will never fold. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Washington football team. Again, things are looking up. They're going to put on the pads today. Things are going in the right direction, and I'm excited, man. I'm really excited, and I'm excited for the opportunity here for Jason Wright to not only come in and set a great example for the rest of these NFL franchises that, yeah, we can do it too, but also I think this guy's going to come in and help change this organization and get this thing going in the right direction. You heard him talk about wanting to involve the fans and talking about more of a presence there. I think he kind of hit on a lot of things that are important moving forward for this organization. And again, I've used the word excited a million times in this video. It's because I'm genuinely excited for the direction of this organization and for the opportunity that Jason Wright is getting with the Washington football team. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. Until next time, you guys take care of yourselves, be safe, and we'll reconvene at a later date and time. You guys have a good one.
Network.